Hey everyone, this is Wallaby. Today I'll be going through my strategy to beat Chapter 18's Clash and boss fight. In solo leveling Arise, Clash was the longest grind for me. I tried many different things and patiently played the game to beat it. I'll go through my build to show you what strategy I had done, and after Clash was beaten, boss fight felt so much easier. I will show both clears at the end of the video, and I will also show the build at the beginning. Clash is difficult due to the time limit. You need to take down 4 bosses quickly, and sometimes you have to face 2 at the same time. First is my setup. I have 311,000 total power. I found high total power was needed to beat it quickly. Those bosses are tanky. Next for my hunter, I'm using Cha, who is light element type. I had to level up her weapon to 80 to boost her power. Her support skill increases the critical hit rate and critical damage by 12%. For artifacts, the most important was to get the light damage to level 20, and many artifacts are boosting her attack percentage. Next is Alicia. I also had to level up her weapon to 80 to boost her power. Her support skill also freezes the target to cause a great 2-second interrupt, and the shield is also great. For artifacts, yet again, it took a lot of time to get good attack percentage gear, and also to get the water damage percentage to level 20. Next is Min, who I also got his weapon to level 80. He is also light element, which is great. I used him for the healing and his insane debuff skill. He can also increase the team member's critical hit rate and critical hit damage increased by 12%. His support skill heals as well as debuffs the target to increase the damage taken by 15%. For artifact, I had to get the HP percentage ones, and I would recommend getting the light attack artifact to level 20. Next, I spent all my resources focused on these 3 hunters. It is better to focus on a few than to spread resources across many. Next for Sun Jinwoo, I went all out on attack. My critical comes from my hunters and artifacts. My precision is at 74%, which is fine. I have 6.44% critical hit rate, but it is higher once artifacts and hunters are used. I found for speed, having a lot of attack did help a lot more than crit. That's why I didn't invest a lot into crit. Next for weapon, I had the level 80 Lustrous Dragon Sword since I didn't have an SSR light weapon. I didn't go beyond 80 since it cost too many resources, which I want to save for other weapons. Next I used Thetis Grimoire, which is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It can freeze, and the deep erosion effect also increases the elemental weakness damage taken by 24%, so the light damage will hurt a lot against these bosses. Next for skills, Death Stance with the light attribute is amazing. This is for the heavy break since my hunters can't break. Next, Crushing Blow with the light attribute is great. This also helps break the bosses, and it also applies the light effect, which deals more damage over time. Next for artifacts, I briefly show it. Now I go in depth for Sun Jinwoo. I use the Burning Curse set. I like the damage increase and also the rescue for gaining back some HP. Then I use the Beast set for the crit. The light damage percentage is important, and this boosts damage like crazy, so I get it to level 20. Next for Blessing Stones, I go all out on offense. I use the Mana Rampaging for 6% attack increase. Next, Double Edged Sword for the attack percentage increase, which can stack 4 times. Next, Boss Slayer for the 7% damage to bosses. And Weakness Detection for dealing 12% more damage for elemental weaknesses. Now, if you dodge well enough, you don't need the defensive stones like the daily quest completion. You'll definitely run out of time without going all out on offense. Next, here's the fight for Clash. Against the High Orc Warden, you must evade his first attack and Shadow Step. Then I freeze and apply Deep Erosion, then spam my break skills. I also use my light attack weapon as well. This is typically the rotation that I do against all these bosses. I am able to break using both brick skills twice, which is ideal. Then I get some free shots. When the second boss comes down, evade. Try to keep both bosses together so you can hit both with your AoE. I had tried this with other break hunters, but I definitely couldn't deal as much damage since I didn't have any investments in them, so it's definitely worth just using his skills to break. You don't have to invest a ton into a hunter that's not your main. The High Orc Warden goes down, then the High Orc Butcher gets into the break state. Next, the third boss comes down and I evade. I wait to use my ultimate so it can hit both bosses. Don't waste the ultimate on a single boss. The Butcher goes down and I'm left with the High Orc Headman. He hits really hard, so make sure you evade his attack and keep breaking him. Once he breaks, I finish him off quickly. With this build, I was able to get S rank. Next is the final boss fight, which feels so much easier in comparison to Clash. You begin by taking down the High Orc Warden. He's way easier without other bosses around.
Explode. The strongest healer has appeared. Can you hear the ringing? Can you hear the ringing?
Then you face High Orc Knight. I take out his mobs first.
Time for a counterattack. This is the end. I'll strike you down. Sky Flash. I see it all.
He attacks quickly, so dodging is a bit harder for him. Unfortunately, I do get knocked down by him. You should definitely evade better like I do in this next try. Next is the final boss, where you'll see a nice cutscene. I was preparing for the worst since this was the first time facing this boss while recording this.
Him of slumber, him of lethargy, him of blindness. How could you resist my curses?
Don't you remember what I said earlier? You and I are a terrible matchup. I'll be taking that shield of yours as well.
Your cheap trick doesn't work anymore. Don't think you have a chance because I toyed with you, human. I'll overpower you.
Almighty Shaman Kargalan has arrived, finally. I found for him his attacks are very slow, so it's easy to evade since you have plenty of time. I keep spamming him with my break skills and evade.
Little insects!
This is the end.
I wait for him to be in a break state before doing my ultimate. For some reason he just felt a lot easier, I felt that his underlings were so much more annoying than him. This would definitely be tough if you had to face him while facing all 4 bosses at the same time. Finally, he goes down. Good luck with chapter 18. This really tested my patience since I was grinding for quite a while to get the proper artifact properties. There was a recent patch that increased the max level to 85, so those extra stats will definitely help. I think this is a chapter that many people might give up on since it was so hard, but just hang in there and grind away. Afterwards, you'll be treated with a final cinematic as well as a lot of great story as well. I wish you luck on these final 2 chapters.
Arise. You're an unworthy opponent.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Here's a video that I recommend, and if you want more solo leveling Arise guides, check out this playlist over here.